came back into my life. I felt the world revive. The grays that lingered through my days began to shift in warming haze. The morning painted every wall with gold that didn't rush or fall. And in that glow so brave and bright, my soul stepped into light. I didn't know how long I'd lived, with nothing left to give, with muted tones inside my eyes and monochrome in open skies. But when the dawn broke soft and slow, it let forgotten colors show, a blooming shade of soft alive. I felt myself revive. The sunrise said your heart can see there's more to life than misery. The day the colors came back into my life untangled me from strife. It brushed my skin like gentle knife and brought my soul to life. The day the colors came back into my life became my second life. It lifted dullness, cut like knife, and calmed my inner strife. The blue returned in subtle form, a peaceful shade, a healing warmth. The green of trees, the red of dawn made space for me to carry on. The purple in the evening haze reminded me of gentler days, and yellow danced across my floor like hope returned once more. I walked outside with cautious steps toward a world I once had slept. The colors wrapped me in embrace and kissed the shadows off my face. I saw the world as I once knew, but brighter, softer, more than true. And all the grief that caused my strife turned slowly back to life. The morning said you're not the same, but colors love you all the same. The day the colors came back into my life cut sorrow like a knife. It breathed in hues both bold and rife and softened all my strife. The day the colors came back into my life repaired what grief tore rife. It held my heart in vibrant life and gave my eyes new light. Maybe healing's found in hue, in colors lost but coming through. They paint the soul in darkest right and give the heart new life. The day the colors came back into my life, I felt release from strife. They brought me peace, they brought me life, more gentle than a knife. The day the colors came back into my life still holds me through my life, and in that palette bold and rife I breathe again in light. The colors stay and light the way.
The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else arrived softer than myself. It crawled across the wooden floor and touched the sadness I ignored. It whispered gently through the dust, a voice that murmured, "Rise, you must." And though my bones felt still intense, the dawn made perfect sense. I'd hidden strength in deeper ground, where tired hearts don't make a sound, where memories that stung too long had muted every inner song. But morning light knew where to go. It reached the parts I didn't show. It lifted slowly, inch by inch. The weight I let convince. The sunlight said you've carried pain, but strength survives the deepest rain. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else returned me to myself. It brushed away the jars on shelves and woke my inner wells. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else held me in gentle stealth. It said, your heart still holds its wealth. You only lost the self. The beams of gold climbed up my spine, a quiet warmth that felt divine. It pressed against the parts that shook, the fears I couldn't bear to look. It gave my lungs a deeper breath, a moment pulled from near to death. And in that calm, expanded space, I recognized my face. I'd been too tired for too long, pretending weakness made me strong, pretending I could hold the world while pieces of my mind unfurled. But morning showed a different truth, that strength can rest, rebuild its youth. And even if I lost myself, it lived beneath the shell. The dawn said softly, stand again. Your spine remembers where it's been. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else released me from myself. It held my worries in soft swells and let new courage dwell. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else restored my broken health. It lit the bones beneath my shell and gave me back myself. Maybe strength is quiet, slow, a seed that waits beneath the snow, and morning simply melts the frost. So what was buried isn't lost. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else returned my truest self. It kissed the fears I'd always felt and softened where I'd knelt. The morning that found the strength I buried under everything else said gently, clear as bells, your strength was never on the shelf. You only left yourself. And morning softly knelt to greet my buried self.
The road that waited for me even when I didn't move, it never asked me to improve. It stretched itself beyond the trees and breathed in rhythm with the breeze. It didn't beg for stronger feet or push me forward in defeat. It simply lay in quiet groove and whispered, when you're ready, move. I stood there for a year or more, afraid to step beyond the door, afraid the world had gone too far and left me where my shadows are. But still the road in patient grace stayed open with a mother's face. It widened out in subtle proof that love doesn't need proof. The gravel said, take all your time, this journey doesn't need a rhyme. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move taught me I had nothing to prove. It held its lines in gentle groove and didn't make me choose. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move let my shaking heart approve that healing has its own slow groove, and someday I'll resume. The wind moved softly down its spine. It hummed a tune both warm and fine. It carried scents of cedar trees and whispered gently through the leaves. I felt the sunlight warm the path. It held no anger, fear, or wrath. It simply said in silent move, walk when your thoughts improve. My breathing deepened, hear its bend as though it knew I'd break or mend. It didn't push or call me weak. It didn't tell me what to seek. It only stayed beside my fear and said, I'm always waiting here. A truth that every lost heart loves, a road that never shoves. The dawn said subtly, you'll begin when your soul says you can win. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move showed gentle truths we rarely prove, that patience has its own improvement, all the ways we soothe. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move became my quiet groove, a stillness we don't need to prove, just something hearts approve. Maybe home is not a place but past that hold us in embrace, a road that teaches broken feet that not all journeys can be beat. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move let healing gently prove that time and love can interweave in ways we can't conceive. The road that waited for me even when I didn't move helped my heart improve, and now I walk with kinder groove because the road still moves. The road still moves. The road remains in sun and rains.
The sunrise loved me long before I learned to love myself. It poured its light on every shelf. It touched the mess I tried to hide, the broken parts I kept inside. It never flinched or turned its gaze. It warmed me through the darkest days, and in that tender morning wealth I felt a part of self. For years I carried quiet shame, afraid to speak my given name, afraid to look into the glass. A version versions of my fading past, but sunrise brushed my fragile face and offered me its soft embrace. It made me feel the truth I'd shelved, that I was worth myself. The morning said you're worth the light, even in your darkest night. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. It placed my doubt upon the shelf, softened wounds I couldn't delve. It held me like no one else. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. It brought me gentle health, it whispered truths I never felt. You're worth your heart itself. The beams of gold across my skin awoke the love I kept within. It soothed the cries I never spoke. It warmed the parts that nearly broke. It spread across my quiet fears and dried the salt of buried tears. It made me see in clearer wealth the worth inside myself. I didn't need to prove my flame or live inside another shame. The sunlight shone without demand. It held me with an open hand. It taught me love is not a prize, but something seen through gentle eyes. And morning light in sweetest stealth repaired my inner self. The dawn said softly, you will see. Your heart was always meant to be. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. Returned me to myself. It healed the wounds I longed to shelve and rearranged my shelf. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. Redeemed my inner wealth and whispered gently like an elf, you're worthy of yourself. Maybe love begins at dawn, where broken souls are gently drawn into the warmth of brand new skies, where truth can memorize. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. Held me in quiet stealth. It turned my pain to newer health and showed my truest self. The sunrise loved me before I learned to love myself. And now I'm learning well to speak with love, to boldly tell I finally love myself. And sunrise stays through all my days.
The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it flickered like a trembling star, a pulse beneath my broken ribs, a whisper in the quiet drips. The world had ended in my chest, 1,000 nights without a rest. But in that small uncertain spark I felt a shift from dark. It happened on a gentle dawn. The sky still pale, the birds not drawn, my breathing slow, my heart unsure. But something flickered soft and pure, a warmth that settled on my skin, a courage where there once was none, a spark that whispered through my heart, I'm here inside your heart. The morning said you're not yet done. There's breath inside you, little one. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it changed my broken heart. It gave me back a missing part and let new healing start. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it softened where I'm scarred. It whispered gently into art. You've made it through the dark. The tears I carried for so long no longer felt entirely wrong. They softened into gentle streams instead of drowning all my dreams. The silence in my empty room no longer carried just my doom. It held a quiet, warming chart of slowly healing heart. I lifted fingers, touched my face, and felt a pulse in every place. A life I thought I'd left my bones, a presence in the undertones. It didn't roar, it didn't scream, it whispered softly like a dream, a tender truth from broken parts. My life had not departed. The dawn said kindly, you survived. It's time to feel alive. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it mended wounds that smarred. It filled my chest with gentle art and steadied every part. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it offered brand new start. It held my fears without restart and sang into my heart. Maybe living doesn't need a perfect step or flawless creed. Maybe it starts with quiet breath that pulls you back from death. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, it soothed my weathered heart. It let the broken edges part and formed a softer chart. The moment I realized I was still alive after everything fell apart, helped me stand up, restart. And though my soul was torn apart, it guided me through dark. I breathe again, alive within. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Sneaking softly from the shelf, it painted gold along my bed and warmed the thoughts inside my head. It didn't scold or ask me why my eyes refused to meet the sky. It only said in subtle stealth, I'll hold you, broken self. I'd spent the night in hollow ache, too numb to give, too tired to take my hands, too weak to lift my fears, my voice too cracked from all these years. But morning didn't walk away, it stayed until the shadows lay. It held me close in quiet wealth, a love beyond myself. The dawn whispered, you can rest, you don't need to be your best. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself, returned me to myself. It wrapped my fear in gentle health and stayed upon the shelf. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself, touched wounds I never felt. It said, you suffered long, let melt sweat crawled across my spine, a hesitant but hopeful sign. It brushed my jaw, my tired chin, and told my lungs to breathe again. It didn't push me out of bed, it didn't rush the thoughts I said. It only stayed with quiet wealth till I returned myself. My heartbeat started soft and slow, a rhythm I'd forgotten. So the dawn held space for every ache and didn't tell me what to make. It simply said, you're still allowed to live beneath this broken cloud. A truth I once denied myself, yet morning shared its wealth. The light said softly, you belong. Even when your soul feels wrong. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Pulled sorrow from the shelf, it soothed my bruises with its stealth, and stitched my mental health. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Gave grace and endless wealth, it hummed a truth I've never felt. You're worth your weary self. Maybe hope is something small, a beam of light upon the wall that stays when everything else leaves, and holds us when our spirit grieves. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Placed mercy on my shelf, it sang in light and gentle health until I found myself. The morning that didn't give up on me, even when I gave up on myself. Still stays in quiet wealth, a love that lifts my broken self and gives me back myself. The morning stays through darkest days.
The first morning I didn't wake up afraid. The fear began to fade. It didn't cling against my ribs or whisper all my former fibs. It didn't wrap around my spine or tell me everything's not fine. It let my breathing lift instead of sinking into dread. I opened eyes to softer light, not heavy shades, a restless night. The room was warm, the floor was still, my heartbeat followed gentler will. I reached for water by my bed and felt a calm inside my head, a peace I didn't think I'd made, a life no longer afraid. The dawn said softly, you survived, it's time to feel alive. First morning I didn't wake up afraid, became the step I made into a world no longer weighed by battles I replayed. The first morning I didn't wake up afraid, my fears began to fade. The sunlight held the path I strayed, and gently I obeyed. I walked into the quiet hall where once the shadows felt too tall. The windows held a brighter scene, a colored world washed fresh and clean. The kettle hissed a friendly tune, a promise of a kinder noon. My hands no longer trembled sore like every dawn before. I sat and let the morning play its music on my muted day. A warmth I hadn't felt in years began dissolving ancient fears. It didn't rush, it didn't pry, it only softened every sigh. And slowly I began to read what my heart truly needed. dawn said gently, fear can go. Now let your quiet courage grow. The first morning I didn't wake up afraid. The darkness finally swayed. It loosened all the old blockade my heart had long obeyed. The first morning I didn't wake up afraid. I felt myself remade, a softer world in warm cascade, where love begins to trade. Maybe courage isn't bold or loud or fierce or uncontrolled. Maybe it's a tiny spark that glows inside the dark. The first morning I didn't wake up afraid. Broad light where shadows stayed. It gave my trembling heart new shade, where gentleness is laid. The first morning I didn't wake up afraid. My soul no longer frayed, and in the quiet steps I made, a braver self conveyed. And morning stayed unafraid. Sleepless years was patient through my fears. It watched me toss from side to side with battles I could never hide. It learned the rhythm of my cries. It held the dawn behind my eyes, and though I never let it near, it stayed another year. It saw me break in quiet ways through long unforgiven days. It watched me fade in faded nights, too weak for dreams, too tired for fights. The window glass would fog with breath of nights I nearly sank to death, but morning never disappeared. It stayed through every year. The light said softly, when you're through, I'll still be here for you. The corners of my room where sorrow crafted quiet tomb. It warmed the blanket on my knees, a peace like wind between the trees. And for the first time through my fears, I felt the worth of years. The light had seen my hidden ache, the dreams I thought I'd never make. It knew the weight inside my mind, the tears I left in drawers behind, and yet it stayed with gentle pride. A friend I didn't realize had waited through the atmosphere for me to let it near. The dawn said softly, rise with me and let your tired heart be free. The
hear the light that waited at my window. All those sleepless years still shine so soft and clear, and in that glow I persevere, held through those sleepless years. The light remains through loss and gains.
Coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, held secrets I kept hid. It saw the mornings drenched in ache, the trembling hands that couldn't take. It felt the weight of sleepless nights, the silent battles, quiet fights. And every time my heart would skid, it held what I forbade. The steam would twist above the rim like prayers too fragile, faint and slim. It warmed my palms when cold inside, when thoughts grew sharp or bruised with pride. It listened to the things I said in whispers meant for no one's head. And through each sip, each quiet bit, it learned what I forbid. The morning said you're safe to speak, your sorrow doesn't make you weak. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, held tears my eyes outbid. It felt the weight I'd never rid, and stayed when others slid. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, saw grief I kept amid, and whispered through each sip I slid, you're stronger than you hid. Some mornings I would shake so hard my pulse would scatter, fall apart. But still the cup remained in place, a steady warmth my hands embraced. It knew each dawn I nearly broke, each dream unfinished half awoke. And though my hope was hardly lit, it didn't flinch from it. It saw the days I didn't rise, the hollow stare behind my eyes, the nights I left the stove untouched, too tired for life's simple clutch. Yet when I held it in the steam, it gave my heart a smaller dream. A little warmth and pieces slid, it healed what I forbid. The dawn said gently, drink a while, you're learning how to reconcile. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, released the shame I hid. It warmed the wounds no one could rid, and met me where I slid. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, held hope beneath the lid, and whispered soft to tired lids, you're worth more than you hid. Maybe comfort hides in things that don't demand or pull on strings. A simple cup, a gentle heat, a quiet, steady beat. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did, softened all I hid. It taught me how to lift and bid my fears to gently rid. The coffee cup that learned my sorrows better than I did still holds me where I slid, and in its warmth my heart outbid the pain I once hid. One sip, one breath, I rise from death.
shoulders fall. Arrived with no demand at all, it slipped beneath the weight I bore and asked my body for no more. It lifted pressure from my spine and told my breath you're doing fine. And in that gentle hush of calm, my shoulders finally fell. I'd held them tight for far too long, in battles where I must be strong, in rooms where silence felt like blame, in moments filled with hidden shame. But morning air had different ways, it moved in slow unhurried waves, a mercy rare enough to stall my shoulders' constant crawl. The dawn said softly, ease the strain. You don't have to carry pain. The morning air, the fire that finally let my shoulders fall, untangled all I recall. It brushed the stress from every wall inside my tired soul hall. The morning air that finally let my shoulders fall became my gentle call to breathe again, to stand up tall without the constant haul. The warmth crept softly down my back, unthreading every silent crack. The knots that hardened through the years began dissolving from my fears. My spine aligned with quiet grace, my heartbeat settled into place. And though the world still held its sprawl, my shoulders didn't crawl. It felt like something deep released, a tension long denied its peace. A lifetime's worth of swallowed grief began unraveling in relief. The air was kind, the breeze was warm, a slow but life-renewing form. It held the burden of it all and let my shoulders fall. The dawn said gently, you may rest. Your body's doing in its quiet best. The morning air that finally let my shoulders fall held me through recall. It soothed the pain in every wall and answered every call. The morning air that finally let my shoulders fall helped me no longer stall. It softened bruises old and small and steadied every fall. Maybe healing's just the breeze, undoing knots our hearts can't seize. A moment where the body learns to soften where it burns. The morning air that finally let my shoulders fall removed my heavy pall. It whispered through my inner wall, you're safe now, give your all. The morning air that finally let my shoulders fall still holds me in its call. And now I breathe where once I'd crawl, because my shoulders fall. And morning air unburdens what I bear. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, felt like the world would finally fit. I spoke a word, a trembling start, but it came straight from my heart. No shrinking down, no dimming out, no stutter full of fear and doubt. Just sound that rose from where I sit, a truth I must admit. For years I softened every tone, afraid my truth would stand alone, afraid to say what hurt inside, afraid my needs would be denied. But dawn arrived with steady grace and lifted shadows from my face. It whispered, speak, it won't unknit, your worth is infinite. The morning said, your voice is free, you owe no quiet apology. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, my soul began to knit. It made my fading courage lit, a flame I could commit. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, I felt the truth transmit, and suddenly my bones admit I'm worthy as I sit. I spoke again, a little more, my chest no longer felt at war. The words fell round and warm and real, not tangled in what I conceal. They drifted through the morning light, as though my lungs reclaimed their right to speak without self-blaming, writ or breaking bit by bit. My throat released a decade's weight of biting back to not be afraid of holding in what hurt my core, of letting silence fight my war. But morning brought a brand new rule, self-love is not a selfish tool. My voice once fragile now emits the strength I never quit. The dawn said softly, say your name without a hint of guilt or shame. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, I held my heart and lit the quiet spaces long unlit with truths that truly fit. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it became my greatest shift. It gave my inner world a lift, my very soul's uplift. Maybe healing starts when sound from your own chest becomes profound, when you can speak without a fear that I'm too much to hear. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, my spirit recommit. I stood inside my life legit, no more diminishing it. The day I heard my own voice without apologizing for it, I felt my future knit, and now I live bit by bit with voice that's truly fit. And morning hears my voice sincere.
The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it, was trembling where I drowned it. It hid beneath my weary bones, in memories like weathered stones. It held the weight of sleepless nights, of whispered fears and unseen fights. And in the hush before sunrise, it rose before my eyes. I didn't know how tight I clenched, how much my heart had been entrenched in battles fought with ghosts and doubt, with tragedies I never spoke about. But morning's hand was warm and slow, it touched the breath I didn't know, and lifted softly from my chest the ache I'd never rest. The dawn said gently, let it go, there's more inside you still to grow. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it, heavier than I'd admit. But once it left, my soul was lit in ways I can't forget. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it. Released the pain unfit, it opened space where hope could sit and soften bit by bit. I watched the sunlight cross my sheets, a golden warmth around my feet. It stroked the shadows on the wall and kissed the fears that made me fall. It didn't rush or pry or plead, it simply gave my lungs their need. And then that fragile exhale slid from where I kept it hid. My hands unclenched, my shoulders dropped. The storm inside me slowly stopped. The quiet curled around my spine like something gently redefined. I breathed again, a newer me, a version soft but finally free. And in that breath, the truth was writ that I could rise from it. The morning said, you've made it through. Now breathe the life that waits for you. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it. I nodded what didn't fit. It turned the shame I couldn't quit to something delicate. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it. Let healing recommit. It whispered, stand a little bit. Your heart is infinite. Maybe life begins this way, an exhale at the break of day, a breath released from where it curled to re-enter the world. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it. Taught me how to sit within the wounds I used to split and not be ruled by it. The breath I didn't know I was holding until morning found it. Stays warm where shadows flit, a sacred proof that bit by bit my heart learns how to fit. The morning called, I breathed unbound. Silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else held more love than I felt for myself. It brushed against my aching skin and quieted the war within. It wrapped around my shaking thumb and told my heartbeat not to run. And in that hush so wide and deep, it rocked my soul to sleep. I'd lived inside a noisy storm where calm was something never born, where every thought was sharp and loud and every dream was wrapped in cloud. The silence slid beneath the noise with gentle touch, with tender poise. It held my hand without command and made me understand. The morning whispered, let it stay. This silence helps you find your way. The silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else protected my neglected self.
It gave my fingers space to feel a moment shaped by something real. It didn't rush, it didn't press, it simply offered rest. My trembling eased beneath its hold, a warmth not hot but calmly bold. It traced the lines along my palm and filled my chest with gentle calm. It caught the tears that dared to fall and never questioned them at all. It stayed until the morning grew, and I could feel me too. The dawn said softly, be at ease. This silence speaks in subtle keys. The silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else, untangled how I felt. It warmed the frost that life had dealt and made my sorrow melt. The silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else invited me to dwell inside a world where my heart's health was something time could tell. Maybe healing comes not loud, not from thunder, not from crowd, but from the hush that holds your hand until you understand. The silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else showed me my truest self. It wrapped my heart in tender wealth and made me trust myself. The silence that reached for my hand before I reached for anything else still stays when shadows swell to guide me through my fragile health and teach me to be well. And silence stays through brighter days.
The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, came softly in its warm adorning. It found the faded lines on skin and read the stories carved within. It traced the places where I broke, the words I never dared to spoke. And in the mellow breath of dawn, it said you traveled on. I'd spend my life avoiding pain, pretending scars were heavy chains, pretending they were proof of wrong instead of signs of growing strong. But morning light refused that lie. It kissed the wounds I tried to hide. It said these marks don't dim your shine, they show your life's design. The dawn said gently, don't erase. Your scars have earned their place. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, gave me a kind of reborning. It showed me paths I'd walked in mourning, yet still kept me adorning. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, showed pain can be transforming. It held my past in soft reforming and turned my fear to warming. The light slid down my quiet arm across each place that saw alarm. It touched the jagged memories and whispered through the morning breeze. These don't mark where you should fear. They mark the battles that brought you here. A truth I hadn't dared to claim through years of silent blame. My chest felt light, my breathing eased, the shadows on my mind appeased. I traced the scars with open eyes and saw a story I despise become a journey deep and wild, a history of a braver child who walked through storms without retreat and still stands on her feet. The morning said you walk through flame, and there is beauty in that claim. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, held back the years of scorning. It showed the power of each morning to reshape every warning. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, turned guilt into adorning. It helped me see a life worth forming, where scars are guiding morning. Maybe maps aren't always straight, maybe they're carved by twist and fate. And maybe scars when traced with light show where we learn to fight. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, gave me the right to stop mourning and let my future start restoring the life my heart's adorning. The morning that taught me my scars were maps, not warnings, still whispers it's returning. These lines are proof you're still transforming, not marks of past forewarning. And dawn reveals what time conceals.
The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, I met the half I'd undermined, the part of me that held the ache, the choices I refused to take, the fears I kept beneath my tongue since days when I was far too young. It stepped out slowly into the light, no longer forced to fight. I'd kept it hidden all these years in boxes filled with dusty fears. I feared the things it had to say would drive the rest of me away. But when I let it walk beside, it didn't curse, it didn't chide. It only said you've left behind more than your fragile mind. The morning said you both belong, you're light and dark, you're weak and strong. The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, my heart became a line, the war inside that made me blind felt quiet in my mind. The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, a peace I'd never find arrived in kindness so refined. It softened all that bind. We walked across the morning floor, its footsteps not a threat no more. It it matched my pace, it held my shape. It didn't sneer or try escape. It showed me every wound I hid, the truth in things I never did. But instead of tearing me apart, it offered me my heart. I learned my shadow wasn't wrong. It wasn't shame, it wasn't strong. It was the part that held the grief, the part that needed some relief. And when I let it share my day, the heaviness began to sway. I felt a unity inside, where two halves coincide. The dawn said gently, stand as one. Your shadow isn't something shunned. The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, I found a different kind of love that doesn't trap or bind, but keeps the heart aligned. The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, it brought me peace of mind, a truth I longed for undefined. You cannot heal blind. Maybe shadows are the proof that light still shines upon our roof, and walking with them side by side helps us stop running from our tide. Beside me instead of behind, my past felt redesigned. The shame I buried, redefined and gentled in my mind. The day I finally let my shadow walk beside me instead of behind, I walked my truest grind, and in the soft forgiveness my soul felt less confined. Step by step, we both accept.
My heartbeat was not something I needed to earn. My whole world made a turn. I felt a light beneath my ribs, more gentle than the life it gives. I heard the rhythm in my chest say you deserve to breathe and rest. And for the first time in my life, it didn't feel like strife. I lived as though my worth was owed to everything I never showed, as though existing took a toll, as though I had to buy my soul. But when the morning touched my bed, it soothed the lies inside my head. It whispered softly through concern, your heart beats not to earn. The dawn said gently, not because you're good or strong. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, the shame began to burn, a lesson years could not unlearn, now softened in return. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, my life began to turn toward love that's given, not adjourned, nor filtered, nor concerned. I felt my chest expand with ease, a breath untightening by disease, not illness made of blood or bone, but worthlessness I felt alone. The morning warmed my anxious skin and let forgiveness seep within. It held my pulse with soft concern, it told me in return You're here because you're meant to be, not to perform or guarantee, not to impress or to withstand, but simply live and understand. The fact your heart still plays its beat is reason you are whole, complete. Your life is not a wage to earn, it's something you affirm. The light said softly, take up space. Existence isn't something chased. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, it felt like sun on burn, a healing I could not discern, but knew I must return. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, the tides began to turn, my grief released in each sunburn, and let my soul return. Maybe worth is born, not bought. Maybe life is not a knot. Maybe hearts just beat because existing is enough. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, the fears began to churn, then melted in a sweet upturn of the true side now discern. The moment I realized my heartbeat was not something I needed to earn, still helps me when I yearn, and in that light my heart returns to love I can't adjourn. My heartbeat stays through all my days.
The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living arrived without demanding or giving. It didn't ask me to stand up tall or promise anything at all. It touched my cheek with quiet air and said, you're hurting, but I'm here. It didn't ask me to be strong, just asked me to belong. I lived so long in silent pride, refusing ever to confide, believing weakness meant I'd fall, believing tears betrayed it all. But sunrise brushed my trembling face with tenderness, with patient grace. It said, you don't have to be tough, your breath alone's enough. The dawn said softly, rest your fight, living itself is your birthright. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living held space for all I'm giving. It eased the shame I kept reliving and gave my heart forgiving. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living stopped all the self-unforgiving. It showed me love is in the living, not in the constant striving. The sunlight trickled down my spine, a gentle warmth, a subtle sign that even when I lost my spark, I still existed in the dark. I didn't smile, I didn't rise, I didn't conquer fear or lies, but still the morning didn't leave. It stayed so I could breathe. It didn't say tomorrow glows or promise healing quickly grows. It simply stayed beside my ache and held me through the slow feel too loud. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living. Let go of all misgiving. It softened pain I kept forbidding. It stopped my soul from splitting. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living showed me life is worth giving. And even when I'm not out giving, my heart is worth reliving. Maybe courage isn't loud, not something bold or somehow proud. Maybe courage simply lies in opening your eyes. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living brought breath I kept on living. It said my softness is worth giving and worth the slow forgiving. The morning that told me I didn't have to be brave to keep living still holds me when I'm shriven. Reminds me life is worth the living even when I'm not brave in it. And morning stays in quiet ways. The softness I found after losing everything hard was unexpected, unguarded, unmarked. It slipped into the cracks I feared, where all the sharpest pain appeared. It rested where my heart had bled and touched the thoughts I'd never said. It whispered, you've survived so far. Let softness heal each scar. I'd built my life in rigid lines and rules, control and warning signs. I thought that strength meant never bent, that pain denied meant time well spent. But when the world collapsed beneath, the pieces cut like broken teeth, and in that ruin large and scarred, softness found me starred. The morning said, you're safe to feel. Not every wound needs iron to heal. The softness I found after losing everything hard held every painful shard. It didn't ask that I discard the grief that hit so hard. The softness I found after losing everything hard became my safeguard. It wrapped my heart in sweet canard, a tenderness unmarked. The softness came in simple forms, a sunrise calm, a cup that warms, a quiet breath at break of day, a moment where I felt okay. It wasn't loud or brave or fierce, it didn't try my wounds to pierce. It simply knelt beside the art of everything I marred. It taught me strength is not the steel that never bends, that doesn't feel, but rather strength is letting go of trying always to control. It held my shaking hands in place and wiped the tears from off my face. It whispered, you've endured so far. Softness is who you are. The dawn said gently, choose the light. You're born for more than endless fight. The softness I found after losing everything hard held life I disregarded. It let my wounds be unbombarded and gently unguarded. The softness I found after losing everything hard lifted every shard. It healed where I was battle scarred, with mercy unmarred. Maybe losing all the steel is what allows the heart to heal. bizarre. It guides my steps from dark to start, toward futures unmarred. The softness I found after losing everything hard still guards my aching yard, and in its touch so calm, so stark, my brokenness is healed, unmarred, and softness
The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, my heart became gentler. I'd held them back for far too long, ashamed to cry, ashamed to long, believing tears were proof I broke, proof I was weaker than I spoke. But morning light upon my skin invited softness in. It brushed the corners of my eyes with warmth that felt like sweet surprise. It didn't shame the drops that fell, it didn't ask that I excel. It simply welcomed every tear as proof of life still beating here. It whispered, cry, your heart's not wrong, it's trying to stay strong. The dawn said softly, let them fall. They're part of living after all. The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, I met my truest sailor. The storm inside no longer tailored the pain I couldn't trailer. The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, I softened each inhaler and let my soul become the jailer of burdens far frailer. The morning echoed in my throat, a trembling yet familiar note. It told me tears are honest rain that cleanse the roots beneath the pain. It said my crying wasn't weak, wasn't something shame could seek. It was the language of my heart, trying not to fall apart. I let the tears roll down my face and found they didn't leave disgrace. They formed a river through my night and washed my chest in morning light. And when I looked into the glass, I saw a version built to last, a person stronger in each failure, a survivor, not a jailer. The dawn said gently, let them flow. Your tears are how your gardens grow. The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, I breathed in something paler, a gentler truth, a calmer sailor, a heart unfit for jailer. The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, I saw my worth in Taylor and let my life become inhaler of moments sweet and frailer. Maybe tears are how we mend a broken thought, a weary end. Maybe crying isn't shame, but simply speaking pain. The day I learned my tears weren't evidence of failure, I saved my inner sailor. I let my voice become a whaler and found a peace much truer. The day I learned my tears mornings rise with open eyes.
The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, my chest began revealing a softer rhythm underneath, a calmer, more forgiving breath. I tried to speed the process up, to fill my cracks, to lift my cup, but healing never works that way. It grows its own slow day. I'd force my heart to get okay, to outrun every yesterday, to swallow pain in hurried bites, to skip the quiet, lonely nights. But morning touched my fragile face and slowed me to a gentler pace. It whispered, you don't need to win, just let the dawn begin. The sunrise murmur, take it slow, your heart decides the way you grow. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, my world regained its feeling. I breathed without the usual reeling, I softened to revealing. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, my soul began unsealing, and every wound I kept concealing started gently peeling. The light poured through my quiet home and touched the corners I don't roam, the messy desk, the scattered clothes, the places where my sorrow grows. But instead of shame, I felt a shift, a small internal patient gift that whispered through my every seal, your hurt is real, but real can heal. The healing didn't scream or shove, it moved like kindness taught by love. It didn't ask that I be fine, it didn't rush the fragile line. It said that growing takes its time, like poems learning how to rhyme. And in that truth so warm, revealing, I slowed into my healing. The dawn said gently, no more race, let healing choose its place. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, the scars began unsealing. I walked without my old concealing, my breath became appealing. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, my grief became less dealing, and in its place grew patient feeling, a slow but real revealing. Maybe healing's like the tides, it ebbs and flows, it loves, it guides. It doesn't follow clocks or charts, it follows broken hearts. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, I found a truth worth kneeling, that every wound once deep and peeling can bloom in its own feeling. The moment I finally believed I didn't have to rush healing, my future felt appealing. And though I'm slow, I'm still revealing a version worth believing. And morning glows. We're here